When I was a little kid, my living room doubled as my mom's office. She used to set me and my brother up in front of the TV to watch Full House reruns while she would work at her desk in the corner, yelling at us from time to time to be quiet while she was on the phone. Yes, I am truly the daughter of a woman who has overcome the feminine mystique. But while I have watched my mom do what many women cannot, this idea of having it all, I've seen the struggles she has faced as a working mother. Really, her story reflects the struggle of many women as they struggle to find work-life balance in their lives. Yes, women have largely conquered the feminine mystique, but in its place they face a new struggle, the second shift. Women now are encouraged to go and be successful and have a career, but societally they are still being expected to uphold their traditional gender roles. This expectation that women can do it all is unfair and unrealistic, and it has to be changed on our path forward to gaining equality for women. When feminist Betty Friedan coined the term the feminine mystique in her 1963 book to describe the assumption that women could find fulfillment in their roles as wives and mothers alone, she highlighted a serious problem that women at the time faced. Luckily, women fought and overcame this issue, and now it's more likely than not to see both parents from a household working. Now, women face a new struggle, one that sociologist Arlie Hochschild described as a sort of stalled revolution, naming this problem the second shift in her 1989 book. The second shift, according to Hochschild, is this idea that women are really working the equivalent of two jobs, the one they do during the day for pay and the one they come home to in unpaid labor as a wife and mother. Information found in a 2018 study by the Center for American Progress titled An Unequal Division of Labor supports this idea of the second shift. In the study, when they combined the time spent on paid employment with the time spent on unpaid household labor and childcare for both workers, they found that it was equal for all women and men, except that women did much more of that unpaid labor. In addition to this, they also found that women are more likely to work part-time than men, again making up for that time in unpaid labor. This information supports the second shift is very real. This problem is worsened when the second shift bleeds into the first. Women are more likely to be the ones to cut back on hours, miss a day, or sacrifice their careers completely when the need for taking care of their child arrives. Combine this with the fact that there is very low access to work, paid sick leave, and low workplace flexibility and unfair scheduling, we get the situation where not many women can succeed. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, there are currently no federal legal requirements for paid sick leave. And in that same Center for American Progress study, they found that only 68% of private industry workers have some access to paid sick leave. Combine this with the fact that there is very low workplace flexibility and unstable scheduling where schedules switch from week to week, we create situations where women are often forced to choose between their careers or taking care of their kids or another family member. In the year 2021, this is a grim reality for the women in our lives that they face every day. And while the Center for American Progress was right when they said that, quote, equity in the workplace will not be possible until there is also equity within the home, end quote, there are concrete solutions we can take now. That first solution is federal policy requiring paid sick leave. There are currently very few states that require some sort of paid sick leave, so we really need that federal policy to cover and require it for everybody. In addition to this, we also need federal policy regarding and requiring that workplace flexibility and the elimination of unpredictable hours wherever possible. If there's anything we can learn from the pandemic, it's this idea that workplace flexibility is not as complicated as we've been taught to believe that it is. We've seen that we can work from anywhere in different hours and it still be okay. So we really need to take that lesson and apply it even as we move past the pandemic. So, while it is true that yes, this issue won't be completely overcome until there is that change in social attitude, there are changes that we can make right now, starting with all of those federal policies. So, please remember the women in your life not only as you go to vote, but as you hold your leaders accountable. Write to them and call them and demand that they support and pass legislation that supports paid sick days and workplace flexibility. And you can start by changing your own social attitudes. Take on a chore that you usually wouldn't because it's not traditional for your gender, and make sure that you're dividing that unpaid labor equally within your household and within your relationships. So yes, this is a daunting and overwhelming task, but I can't help but feel anything but hope. Women like my mother overcame the feminine mystique when it seemed impossible. Overcoming the second shift is just the next step in our path to finally shattering the glass ceiling. Thank you.